Hey everyone, Darren DOG here in London again today. I'm trying to find a patch of green in amongst the mayhem. Spend some time in the field for when I'm reaching out to you here. I'm really quite excited about what I want to share with you today because it's going a little bit deeper into the Word and into some of the stuff that I haven't really shared up until now and why it can be so significant. So obviously when I've spoken about introducing the first word as the correct replacement for what we now call God, a la Yahweh, all the rest of it, and as a unifying sound of recognition between humans, that's profound enough in itself. But I've been doing this for a long time, and often people end up coming back and going, well, you know what, yeah, it's great, I get it, it's good, but it's just a word. A rose by any other name would surely smell as sweet. It's like, well, to some extent. But if you are, for example, say you want to go to Bath and you have heard that Bath is a great place to be. It's got lovely things there or whatever, nice things to visit, good sights, nice coffee shops, whatever it is you like that you've heard about being in Bath. That's great. You found it really desirable and you want to go there. But then when you go and try and go there, you find that all the signposts have been changed to Wath and you don't know. And Wath is a little place in Yorkshire with not really a lot going on in it. Sorry people who live in Wath, but compared to Bath. Now, you get to Wath and you're like, well, what was everyone on about? So what? Wath, great. I'm going home. But the point is you could never have reached there because the signpost was pointing in the wrong place. Now this is what I mean when I keep re-quoting Buddha's point about words being signposts. Because they are signposts to things, and that's why we talk about seeing somebody's point. I can't really see your point. Really getting somebody's point. That is about following the signpost to the place of meaning. Now, if the place of meaning is something like a table or a chair, hey, I'm going to sit in this chair, then it doesn't really matter what's going on because chairs don't really have much oomph as a spell and as a thing to refer to. It's not like there's anything multidimensionally potent about a chair necessarily. Now, you imagine instead accurately referring and speaking from something like love compared to a table or a chair. And because there is something larger than objects, more than really we can fully grasp about love, we can almost call in and align with greater sensation and experience and alignment and transmission and connection with others through properly aligning when we use the spell that is love. So it's one thing to talk about how you loved your cheese or your cup of tea. It's another thing to look deeply in the eyes of your beloved and tell them how you love them. And then there's ways you can do that. You can do it when you're disconnected and it's just an empty word, and then you can do it when you are deeply aligned with not just feeling but with the larger thing that is love itself pervasively in the cosmos, if you believe in such a thing. And obviously, it's an experience rather than a belief, to be honest. But my point is that clearly there's a difference between how you refer to your love of cheese or tea and how you refer to your love of your beloved, and the feeling that can be evoked there when you align with it. And then you compare that with objective signposts or referencings like the van or the tree or the cup or whatever, So that's all well and good. Now, but what if the thing being referred to is the awareness that imbues all things? What if it is all of the ideas of a benevolent and caring, loving deity? What if that is the destination? Alignment with that, a sense of place and relationship with that. What if that was the destination? What was that was the Bath in this example? And here are a bunch of people in Wath. So when I talk to people about correcting the cornerstone signpost of reality, what people refer to God as God or deity or Yahweh, the largest concept or signpost that we have anywhere. There is no greater concept. That's why it's the cornerstone. When we try to move the signpost of that First of all, it's a monumental task because everything else must shift with it. We're dealing with the umbrella spell for all things. Everything must move with it. So first of all, it's slow and difficult to move. The second thing is that there's a process here, and it's to do with the spells I've mentioned to you before of reference, which is the signpost itself, and then reverence. Where reverence and reference are deeply related to each other because they're only differentiated by the hard and soft versions of the f sound. So reference, reverence, f and v are hard and soft versions of the same sound. And it's because there's a inextricable relationship between reference and reverence, and reverence is importance. In fact, reverence is more than importance. Reverence is way more than importance, isn't it? Reverence contains within it importance as well as a sense of place and relationship. You know, I'll let you explore what the nuance of reverence feels like for you, but that is inextricably tied to reference. So when we refer to tables and chairs, there's not much reverence there. Maybe unless your granddad made it or something like that. The last gift from your mother before she died, you might have some reverence when you refer to objects. But what has happened in our world is that most words have lost their reverence. They've lost their importance because they have been used shallowly and without referring to substance or quality in a meaningful way. And so people have come to dismiss words because anybody can use them. But it doesn't mean everybody can use them properly. It doesn't mean everybody can use them to accurately refer to a substantial space or destination. This is what accurate spelling is about. And when we are talking about the reference to the word, the original word, the amount of reverence that must come into alignment with that is quite monumental when we live in such an irreverent society. You know, if we remember that I said in the last video that I was talking about how no quest has had the resources devoted to it in the search for this God thing. And obviously it's the thing we were searching for was wrong, and obviously the word from the beginning, the word that refers to all things accurately at the same time, is the word go. For us humans, neigh for horses, woof for dogs, baa for sheep, but for us it's go. And all the variations thereof, and then our languages stemmed away from that. Now, where was I going with this? I've been distracted. There's been an accident behind me, you see. There's like exchange, you might have noticed them in the background, playing around with a panel on this car here. There's been a prang, and it's been a bit distracting in the background. So sorry, I mean, imagine allowing distraction to get to me when I'm trying to convey the word to you. This is why I'm losing it, because it's such a monumental thing to try to wield and wrestle with the reverence of the word in such an irreverent society. And not only that, we're living in a situation where the word go as a reference refers to the lowest rather than the highest thing. If you look at the scientist Dawkins, he says in one of his books, I don't know which one, he says, God can't exist because if God existed it would be the most complex thing in the universe. It would be the result of evolution rather than the thing before it. Well, maybe Dawkins, but what if it is both the most simple and the most complex thing at the same time? And that is what we were talking about when we were referring to goo. We are referring to the simplest and the most complex thing at the same time. So when I refer to goo and introduce it to most people, they think of a formless substance, which is the lowest form of goo. But it also rises up to the highest with appropriate reverence and interaction in relationship with the awareness and the benevolence and the substantialness of the goo that we find ourselves in and are comprised of. You know, we are this super organized goo being that's able of perceiving and expressing so much. And when we can come into a reverential alignment with a correct word, like a sheep remembering ba and coming into reverential alignment with it, it then becomes more than a word. And we then start to tread into the territories where we start to get feelings like love when we're expressing love. But then because we're referring to the divine, the more accurately we come into alignment with that, we get the additional benefits of the promised destination when we got the instruction for bath, i.e. in this case, what we were supposed to experience from using the reference God. And I'm saying that those promises are yielded when we follow this signpost instead, the signpost of Gu. But we have to follow it with an appropriate, gradually increasing reverence that's not whimsically faked, but born of our discovery and realization that that is indeed what we are and what we find ourselves in, and that no matter where we look, can it be disproven. And this is where understanding Gu as a reference is important to realize it's different from all other references. Not only for numerous reasons. One of them is that it's not a word in any language, it precedes language. So it touches a part of our awareness and perception that the rational mind cannot touch, because language exists only in the realm of the rational mind. It's not really something that can be thought through, it's about leading to an experience. Now, so when we refer to words like cup, okay, I'm referring to the cup, and here's a cup, no problem. But what about if I refer to a carrot or an elephant? Okay? You see any carrots or elephants behind me? Nope, me either. I don't have any on me. That is because the word carrot is not with the carrot. The word elephant is not with the elephant. And yet we have this very special line in the Bible. It's very powerful, and nobody could ever give me a proper explanation for it. But I'm going to give you the explanation now. And that line is, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with, insert choice word here, and the Word was, insert choice word here. So what I'm suggesting to you was, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Gu, and the Word was Gu. Now, the word was with means that this word is different from the other words in that whenever you use it with the appropriate reference and at least a modicum of reverence, and even without the reverence, it's still there, and that is, the word is with the thing referred to in this case, and that is, Gu is the thing that is speaking, the medium that the sound and the word is travelling through, the substance of the word itself, and the thing which receives it. So, and the word was with Gu means that by using it properly, we can come into an alignment in a way in which no other word can deliver. You know, I can sit here and muse upon the nuance of carrots or love or whatever other spell you want to choose, and what it will do is give me a small segment of reality to align with. You know, if you think about it, when we're spelling, you know before when I did the reset technique and I said, you know, when you focus on an object, any object, it becomes important and everything else blurs into unimportance, doesn't it? Okay, now, oh, I've gone and lost my thread. I was adding too many points there, I do apologise. Right, let's go back a bit. And the word was with you. I was getting a bit excited, you see. I'm gradually sharing some of this stuff and I'm getting a bit giddy and a bit carried away. Let me just pause and gather myself. Where was I? And I've got a nice coffee here. And the word was with, isn't it? Yes. So, my point about and the word was with is that, unlike other words, by coming into an appropriate alignment with this one in different ways, in whatever way you can, you will get different rewards. Yes, I remember what I was going to say now, thank you. Which is, when I refer to things like the cup or whatever, not only do I make it important and everything else collapses into unimportance, but when I refer to something, everything else in the universe collapses temporarily. So for example, carrot again. For the moment, for you to isolate the carrot out of the rest of potential reality that I could refer to, from philosophy to objects to subjects to feelings, for you to ponder just on the carrot even momentarily, collapses all of the possibilities, and you've only got this small subset of reality to experience temporarily. And this can apply to any subject, and obviously the broader the subject we're referring to, the more of reality can be referred to and aligned with. And this is the significance of the first word. Another aspect of the significance of the first word is that it is the means to both come into alignment with and refer to everything at the same time. Total awareness, total inclusion, total alignment. What most people would call oneness, I suppose, but actually experienced. Because we've removed our otherness from the substance that we find ourselves in. Have I said everything I wanted to say today? Let me think. I wanted to come and do, and the word was with. I think I've done that. Thank you for your attention.